Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Nicole and I am coming to you from the southeastern part of Spain in Granada. And it is finally sweater weather and I'm so excited. I've got wool on top of wool on top of wool and it's wonderful. Okay, so today I just wanted to come and talk about a few things, a few of my progresses on my mystery cowl that I've been working on since summer, and a pair of socks that I'm knitting, and my finished top that I'm really excited to be wearing. I can talk a little bit about my cardigan that I'm also wearing today. Yeah, my stitch markers. And also the interviews that I've been doing. I don't know if you have been able to watch them, but I think that they're really, really special and wonderful. So far, I have been able to have conversations with Kat of the Heather and Hops podcast, who actually designed this top. I've spoken with Ninja Chickens, Maria, who actually designed this scarf. I've spoken with Jen, who has a lovely podcast and audiobook up on YouTube. I've spoken with Chevis from the Chevy Rel podcast. Who else? Oh, and Lorena, who has a podcast in Spanish, but we did our interview in English. She's from Chile, and she now lives in England. So she has a podcast called Lorelei Handmade. I was thinking of Lee-on-Sea, which is the city where she lives, which is very bizarre because her last name is Lee, and she now lives in a city named Lee-on-Sea, and it's on the sea. So, enough rambling. Let's get to it. So, even though it is sweater weather, I don't need to be wearing this shawl right now, but I will show you that once again because it is super beautiful. This is the Sacred Geometry Shawl by Ninja Chickens. And I absolutely love that. I think I might have followed the pattern incorrectly, but somehow it does this curly thing at the bottom. It's really pretty. Yeah, I definitely started making up my own cables as I was going through this, but that is the joy of knitting, is it not? And this is naturally dyed with madder root from the kit of Tintika. So Tintika has some amazing kits for you to naturally dye your own. Actually, this is the Tintika show because I've got Tintika, everything is Tintika. We love to naturally dye our yarn, no? Okay, so let's start off by what I have here in this beautiful bag by my friend of sandbags. So this was really fun. I think that the last time I came out to record, when I got home in my mailbox, there was a purple package of something that I did not ask for, order, or know about, and so I opened it up and it was this beautiful bag. You can see inside, it's so pretty, and I still have the string on though. And this was such a nice gift and such a surprise because I was talking in the last episode about how my last sandbag bag, the zipper broke, and so she found my address secretly from one of my test knitters. Hi Natalia. And she sent me this bag to make up for it, even though I mentioned in the last episode that I had my friend Marianela fix my bag, so no problem. Now I've got 2 bags. Anyway, inside here is living my Esto la Tierra, my earth stole. So I have gotten through one more segment, and I can show you that this has not been blocked. And actually there's still a little bit more to go, but look at how massive this is. Oh, the battery's going low. Let's see how long I can do this for. Look at how massive this is. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it so much. We've got Tintika Natural Speckles kit right here. And over here we have Enka yarn dyed. This is yak and silk and merino, and it is naturally dyed with logwood on top of the natural color that is this is the front. Yeah, the natural color that is the yak. So slowly moving along, and I figure that every time I record I want to have at least one more segment finished. Okay, while I'm here, I guess I will talk a little bit about this cardigan. I spoke about this in another one, but I just think it's really fun with the back with the moons, and I'm super excited to be able to wear it. And then I have my top of Heather and Hops, which I naturally dyed with Vitex, and isn't that such a beautiful color? So I'm excited about those. This is I bought some Tintica wool. Okay, well, Tintica sent it to me because we're really good friends and we work together. So I got some natural white wool, which I dyed with Vitex, and I think it's really fun. Yeah, so. Okay, so I also wanted to show you these beautiful, beautiful new stitch markers I've got, which are of agate and white turquoise. I think these are really, really beautiful. They remind me of M&Ms. And these are also agate, but like a fiery autumnal awesomeness with quartz. And I think that these are really fun. These are each like super unique. And when you see them in the sun, oh, I love them. So. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back again. I might actually change locations after this segment because of the wind, but it just had such a beautiful background. So I'm back again because last time I was here, my battery ran out and I could not finish telling you all I wanted to tell you this time. Before I continue, I wanted to just make a little side note about my work with Tintica. I have been talking about Tintica probably in all of the episodes because she is my dear, dear, dear friend. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago when I moved to Granada, she was my neighbor and we discovered that we were both knitters. So I actually met her through my partner who's a musician because she and her partner are musicians, and we met each other that way, and then we discovered that we were knitters. So it was just so wonderful to have someone right next door who I could be like, hey, let's go hang out in the sun and knit for a little bit. And probably about 4 or 5 years ago is when she started to make her YouTube channel, which is called La Lanatica, which has a whole bunch of knitting tips and tricks and video patterns, which even if you don't speak Spanish, I would highly recommend checking out because some of the stitch patterns she did in one of the tops I used in another top that I made, which I'll put a picture right here. And she has this really cute dress for like a 2-year-old, which was her daughter at the time. And yeah, so from her work making videos in the wool world, she then decided to go on to dyeing her own yarn with plants and plant material, and it is amazing to like follow what she's been doing from the very beginning. And I see some beautiful birds over there. Sorry, I got distracted. And yeah, I'm just so proud of everything that she's doing because she works so hard, and she's like the most detail-oriented, organized, consistent, hardworking dyer that I know, because she would like harvest the plants and then like do this like really long, slow process in natural dyeing. And if anyone has ever tried natural dyeing before, you know that it can be like a long process. Maybe you have to use some kind of modifier afterwards to change the color. Just so many different things and so many different possibilities that it really is labor intensive. So yeah, so she moved back up to another city, and in 2019 she invited me to come with her to help her out at her stand at her very first fair of Barcelona Knits Festival. So that was such a beautiful experience because I got to be behind the table at a fair and help her explain all of her products and talk about all the beautiful wool that she has. And yeah, I mean, I have always been like the tester of her different bases, and I will forever be in love with her sport weight merino superwash yarn. It is so beautiful. It's like butter. I love it. And yeah, so that was back in last November, about a year ago. And then in 2020, when the year first started, before all this craziness, I started helping her reach out as her transatlantic sales representative. Well, more like bilingual sales representative, because we've been here in the European continent so far, and trying to get her kits, her natural dye kits, and her products in different shops all around Europe in places that speak English. So I've been helping her with that, and I feel really fortunate to be part of the Tintika team. So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear, because I feel like I'm always talking about Tintika, and it's because I have a very close relationship with her and I love her work, and yeah. So, oh, and then that leads into this shawl, which at the end of this video, if you stay till after the plant information, you will see the bonus track where I am going to put my first YouTube video, which I think I filmed back in 2016 or 2017 when I knit this shawl, which is the Vortex shawl. And this yarn was gifted to me by my dear friend Ida. This is actually We Are Knitters yarn, because she did a We Are Knitters party and she had this Peruvian cotton yarn, and yeah, she gave it to me, and this was the first pattern that I knit as a test knitter and like from a pattern, because before this I was just like inventing things. I would like make I would make scarves, I would make like vests, I would make just out of my head, or socks. But this was the first like written pattern that I followed, and it was brioche, and it was amazing. So at the end of this video, I will put the bonus track where you can see me talking about this shawl back a few years ago. Okay, more things. Okay, so I'm basically coming from the same spot because my dog is very comfortable here. So we're gonna hang out here for a little bit, and I'll explain some more things I wanted to share. Okay, so the next thing I have is my progress on my socks that I'm knitting. I'm just knitting a plain vanilla sock. When I knit socks, I typically do German short row. And there's my baby. Okay, so I kind of I'm gonna put this in black and white so that you can actually see, because this, speaking of Tintika, this is yarn from a new kit that will be released for the Barcelona Knits Festival, which is in the beginning of November. So I don't want to give any spoilers because I don't think she's announced it publicly yet. So I'm gonna put this in black and white so that you can actually see the color that it is. Or the colors, 3 colors, triple colors. And I just wanted to show you what happened with my sock knitting. So here we have the first sock. First of all, okay, when I do German short rows, I tend to get this hole over here. I should probably look into how I can fix that. I've heard people talking about how to fix that. The other problem, this is the first sock that I knit, and I was doing magic loop. It's full of dog hairs. I was doing magic loop, and also this like changing of the colors, which I learned from Grace of the babbling travel. You know Grace. She's great. That Grace. And she has this technique of helical knitting, which kind of helps you when you're alternating skeins. So I thought I could try it out here, making stripes. Okay, but my problem is that when I was knitting in magic loop, I was getting like these gaps here, which are not very nice, and my tension is very, very loose. Also, he's gonna make a big hole and throw dirt on me. He like, also, eso no. No, also. Ya está. Ya. Okay, now he's good. So, podcasting out in nature. My dog is in a hole. He likes to dig a little bit so that the earth is nice and cool underneath him. What a beautiful view. So my tension is really, really loose. And then, well, this is a 2x2 that I just did. But then I got these tiny little circular needles where my knitting is so much neater. I don't know if you can see, but look at this in comparison. Well, as you know, I do things always kind of backwards so that the socks are different but the same. They're different colors in different places. But like the tension here is so much looser than the tension here. Do you see that size difference? And it's the same number of stitches. So I'm wondering when I start to turn the heel on this one, if these will even fit. Okay, no, that's not true. I tried them on and they fit. They're okay. But now this one is going to be baggy in comparison to this one. So I think I'm going to have to knit a whole nother one of these with the little needles, which I knit kind of weird. I have to do throwing because it's so tiny. I'm not used to using these tiny ones, but I like that the tension is so nice and there's no like spaces in between. So I don't know what I'll do. I think I might have to unravel these. Can you believe it? Unraveling a whole sock? I guess it's not the biggest deal ever. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this new kit. And actually, I probably could get 4 pairs of socks out of this kit because there's, I think, 150 grams. And one sock, I measured it, it's 33. So that one sock, I made it really short, and it's 33 grams. So if there's 150, I could theoretically make 4 socks. So maybe I will just make 4 socks. I don't know. Or I'll undo those. Who knows what I'll do, but I'll do something. And the wool, of course, is beautiful. And it's in my little Barcelona Knits bag from last year. It's like the perfect little sock bag. Yes, I like sock knitting. I like having socks on the needles for when I'm sitting in class or like a Zoom hangout or something, because I cannot work on brioche or anything like that. So that leads me to my next whip. This is like a deep, deep, deep whip. Let me go get it. So I also wanted to show you a very, very deep whip. This work in progress is living in this beautiful bag, which is now covered in grasses. Which was knit a swatch by my friend Marianela Gallo. And she gave me the swatch and she asked me to naturally dye it, and then she put it on a bag and gave it to me. I had no idea that she was going to gift me the bag, but I naturally dyed this with logwood, just a little bit. And this is cotton, so people have been asking me about natural dyes and stuff. If you want to naturally dye on cotton, a really good mordant is soy milk. So you can just like let some cotton soak in soy milk for a day, or however long you want, and then rinse it off a little bit, and that helps cotton like get the color. That's what a mordant does. It helps it like attract the color. So yeah, so living inside this bag is a deep, 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 deep whip, a project which none of you have seen before. This is my Razón Poética shawl by Beagle Knits, and this is available in English. I am knitting it in English. It is many, many pages of brioche, but if you just follow line by line, really, it's nothing. There's nothing to it. And there are charts that you can follow. I've been enjoying watching the charts because I think I'm very much a visual person. But I put this in hibernation probably at the end of spring, and I haven't even looked at it since. And here, well, I've looked at it because I love it. This is this beautiful shawl that is slowly but surely growing, and it's gonna be huge because it still has like 3 more sections. But I love me a big, big comfy shawl. This is cotton, so this is nice for like the in-between times. But this is my favorite Tintika Sport. I dyed this using her logwood kit, which makes a beautiful lilac color. And then this was just a fun creation that I mixed her kit with some other plants and was able to get this fun color. And I have some of my first little stitch markers that I made on there. And actually these are some new stitch markers that I've got. And yeah, I'm really excited. But so I took it out of hibernation the other day and I didn't even remember how to do brioche. I was like, what is this? I don't know how to do this. And hi, Oso. Oso's come to hang out with me over here. Yeah, and so I'm working on this. I think I've got back into the rhythm of it. I figured out how to do brioche again. I realized that muscle memory is incredible. And yeah, so I'm going to keep working on that, and I'll hope to be back to you soon and show you about it. Want to say hi, Oso? Oso's been knitting many things, right? What have you been knitting? You got a lot of stuff going on? No? Okay, so today I would like to talk about Vitex. I'm sitting here under a beautiful example of a Vitex tree bush. It's also known as chaste tree or Abraham's balm or Vitex agnus castus. And it is such a beautiful tree plant. Yes, I discovered this plant. I mean, I have seen it and walked by it through the gardens near the river here in Granada and up on the hill behind the Alhambra. And I always took note of it because it had these beautiful purple flowers in the late spring. And I didn't know what it was. And it has these leaves that almost look like marijuana leaves because they're like five leaves together. And I didn't know what it was. I listened to lots of podcasts about plants, and I was thinking maybe it was like purple loosestrife or something like that. But I kept seeing it everywhere. And one day, it struck me to send a message to Maria of Ninja Chickens and ask her if she knew what plant it was. And she was like, of course, that is 100% Vitex. I know Vitex very, very well. And honestly, like, it got me so excited because I had been wanting to meet or know Vitex for like years. I've been hearing about all of its medicinal uses, and I just really wanted to know this plant ally. So when she told me that it was Vitex and it actually could be used for natural dyeing, for eco printing, I got so excited. I brought home some leaves that day because I realized that I had so many Vitex bushes or trees around me. And I brought home some leaves and I tested it out on some white wool that I had, and wow, that's how I got that beautiful color of like that yellowish, goldenish, greenish color that I got for my Cala Galdana top, which I spoke about earlier. Yeah, and so you can dye with the leaves and the berries. Actually, it's also known as monk's pepper, because it has these like berries. It's basically just like a big seed. There's really not a lot of fruit to it. And Vitex has such a strong smell, like lots of essential oils, and you can, when I was dyeing with it, my whole house smelled like Vitex, which was amazing. At first, it's kind of surprising smell because, I don't know, I took my friend to see the tree and everything, and she was like, oh, I don't know if I like this smell, but I love it. I think it smells really good. So it can be used as pepper, the seeds. In the autumn right now, I'm looking and I see all of the seeds on the tree, and you can take it and dry it and use it like cracked black pepper. And the reason it's called chasteberry or monk's pepper is because monks or priests would use the seeds and probably the leaves as well as a way to maintain their chastity, because for men it seems to work as an anaphrodisiac, so it's the opposite of aphrodisiac, and it decreases libido. Someone said that it will cool the heat of lust in men, but actually for women I think it might even have the opposite effect. But it is extremely nutritive for the reproductive systems of both men and women. It's like a tonic herb. You can use the leaves, the flowers, the berries. You can make a decoction of them, like a strong tea. You can make, it is a little bit bitter if you drink it in the tea form. You can make tincture in alcohol. You could tincture it in apple cider vinegar and make a Vitex vinegar. You can make a syrup, an elixir. And yeah, it's really wonderful. It has been known to help with PMS, but it's something that is very slow acting, very safe, very gentle. I mean, besides extensive clinical studies that show its uses and safety and the way that it can help with just toning your reproductive system and everything that goes along with that. But it's also been used for more than 2,000 years in our known understanding of folk medicine. And apparently the way that it works is that it like stimulates and normalizes the pituitary gland, which regulates the balance of estrogen and progesterone in the body. Vitex itself does not have any hormones or anything, but it nourishes and supports the endocrine system to find its own balance. A well-known herbalist, David Hoffman, said, Vitex will always enable what is appropriate to occur. So all PMS problems, also if someone is coming off birth control, it can help easing the body into regaining natural rhythms. It has been known to increase the chances of conception for women, and decrease the chances of miscarriage. And it increases milk production in new mothers. Also, it has been known to help with women entering in menopause with hot flashes or flooding. Also, for women who have endometriosis or fibrocystic breasts or uterine fibroids. So, it's very helpful, just in general. Of course, like any herbal medicine, it needs to go along with like exercise, love, fresh air, clean water, whole food. You know, like nothing is going to be a miracle or anything. You need to use these things alongside a healthy lifestyle and trying to, I don't know, the more that I think about herbal medicine and everything, especially in the world that we're living in now, I realize how important it is to find things that bring you joy and peace and happiness in your life, because maybe you could be like super healthy, drinking all your nourishing herbal infusions and taking your remedies when you need them. But if you're in a state of depression or you're in a bad place, like, you need to reach out and get help from friends and family and yeah. So anyway, and I was really excited when I was researching it today to find out that the Latin name for Vitex, which I can't really pronounce it because Latin is not meant to be pronounced, I think, but it comes from the word to weave or to tie up. So how perfect, our lovely Vitex. Because it was the branches and stems were used in basketry. Also, it's super attractive to butterflies. So if you have a Vitex bush in your garden, in midsummer you're going to have like these beautiful lavender spikes of flowers, and it's going to be full of butterflies and bees and all of those pollinators and good things. Oh, But I was also excited, besides the basketry thing, to find out that it's native to the Mediterranean, where I'm living right now, but it can be found in the United States, like in the southern places. But on the website I was looking at, it said that it can be found as far north as the south part of Long Island, which is where I was born, and which is where my family lives, and which is where I grew up. So I was excited to know that Vitex can grow there. I've never seen it there, but you never know. So that's all I have to say about my dear, vital Vitex. Hello world, how are you? My name is Nicole, and I am here out of gratitude to Charlotte of the Charlotte and Gus Knitting Podcast for allowing me to test knit her newest design, her shawl design. This is the Vortex shawl, and it's wonderful. Actually, this was the first time that I've ever done brioche, and the first time that I've ever followed a pattern, so I was a very inexperienced test knitter, but Charlotte helped me with any questions that I had, answered all my emails, and I was so pleasantly surprised at how easy it was just to follow all of her instructions. I went into it super blind. It was like cast on 7 stitches, so I did that, and then I didn't really read ahead, and I just trusted that I would understand, and I did, and it was great. It was a wonderful learning experience. I think she has a hashtag like get sucked into brioche, which I totally did. First time ever doing brioche, and I did this whole shawl. I am like a throw knitter, so I'm quite slow, but still fun. I did have a little problem on this side because I ran out of yarn, but thanks to Lanatica, I was able to make something up and make it work, you know, Project Runway. So Lanatica has a channel on YouTube also in Spanish. If any of you guys speak Spanish, I'll put the information down below. And yeah, just wanted to say thank you to Charlotte, and hopefully all you guys want to try out her amazing design because it's super easy and super fun and super beautiful. It kind of reminds me of the new Stephen West eyeball shawl, which I've seen a lot of people doing. I love it. My first shawl, my first brioche, my first pattern, and it came out amazing. So, guys, try it out. And have a wonderful week. Yeah, I just wanted to add something to this amazing knitting community because you guys are all so wonderful. Shout out to Ninja Chickens and Mina from the Knitting Expat and Lanatica, of course, and Charlotte and Gus and Christy Glass and all that. So I hope you guys have a great day. Ciao!